んにちは。こんにちは。こんにちは。
They're busy! Busy? Look, they're busy and you're dizzy. No, I'm not drunk, madam, but you give me an idea.
Did you hear the alert go off, Lojo? Also, welcome! We're back with probably more Mario RPG, unless we just get talking about things again, because that's always a fun thing. Yes, you heard it. Good. Awesome. Because I can hear them too, but technically they're muted in the board. But things that are muted on the board does not necessarily mean that they're muted for you guys, because I can't hear the intro music, because I need to listen to the other audio levels, so only you guys can hear the intro music on the break screen. But I know what the intro music is. Yeah. Greetings, Lansley. Welcome. The monitor, the other monitor that you sent did arrive. I am looking directly at it. Yes, much appreciated. I sent the message thingy in Throne. That's what this one right here. Boom. Throne.
Good job.
So I sent that. And I've updated the list by removing.
Never give up, never surrender.
Oh, Galaxy Quest is such a good movie. Such a good movie. But yeah. Got the message from Thrones. Nice. Whereas Lojo said, good job. I guess to Throne. For sending the message properly. Yes. Yeah, so we did not have the played up stream last night. I need to correct that. All I have to do is delete this from the calendar. And then bam, we didn't have the played up stream last night. Lady was busy, Ben was sick, and Song was injured, and I was redesigning my desk with the new monitors. So we were all pretty tied up with things last night, and yeah, it probably wouldn't have been fun with a sick person, an injured person, a person who has to be quiet because they have families over, and then me. Probably wouldn't have been the most entertaining crew to attempt to play things. So we just, yeah, if we can't put out top quality entertainments, then we'll just postpone the entertainments until the quality can come back. Metallic Mario. As close as you get to as close as you get to invincibility. Words are hard. As close as you get to invincibility in Super Mario 64. Yeah. I got it on the third take. It's fine. Fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I really do have Super Mario RPG like waiting I need to sound test this. Nope, that's the PS5. Aha! I have to use my Joy-Cons today. Okay. Sound is working, so I can full screen that and back to the schedule. I do have it pulled up. I had it pulled up last week too. It's really there. So it's just a matter of if we get to it after the chatting. I have several things I want to chat about today. I have updates, because I figured you guys are interested in the updates to the situations here with me and Narimam. We have good news and bad news. Yeah. So I guess we can get into that first. Good news is that Narimam has gotten the reduction to her. The music is drowning out a little. Okay, but we will just turn the music down. Oop, not that much. There we go. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Yes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah. The reduction that Narimam had to her Social Security income that she gets every month, she got it was like a $250 reduction. She's managed to get that reversed, which is awesome. Which means that her income alone will now once again cover rent and power. And she managed to get life insurance on top of that. That's going to run an extra $55, but her income should be able to cover that. So no matter what, Narimam's income alone should be able to cover the essentials that keep us in the apartment here. What she probably will not be able to cover is the phone bill and the car insurance. But she did get a bunch of back pay for all the months that they had taken it off. And we managed to get all the bills caught up. And if you were wondering where all of the household items disappeared to off of this list, we just went shopping and bought them all. So we're pretty well stocked up on household items. You see there's like 5 things here that we don't have in like large numbers. So yeah, that's where all the items disappeared to off of that list. We just went out and was like, okay, we need this and 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 this, and we just bought all the things that we need. And so we're pretty well caught up on all of that stuff, which is the good news. Bad news. The bad news comes entirely on my side of the developments. I've not heard anything about my disability claim yet, which is normal because it's probably going to take a year before they even make a ruling on it. But meanwhile, my health insurance has been canceled. Yep. So now I don't have any insurance for getting medication or going to the doctor. Which isn't supposed to happen because I'm on the marketplace coverage where I'm not supposed to be like paying for it, but apparently the low income, or in my case no income, Medicare options don't exist in the United States anymore. I'm guessing Trump has finally managed to eradicate them entirely with his newest wave of changes that they're trying to push through. And if you don't know what the newest wave of changes that are coming down from our government are, Let me lay them out for you. 1. Restrictions on healthcare and who can qualify for free healthcare. 2. Restrictions on disability and who's able to qualify for disability. 3. Raising the retirement age to 68 from 62. I have no idea who qualifies for any of this shit now. Greetings, Songswell. Restricting who qualifies for food stamps, and when you do qualify for food stamps, how much you get. Our food stamps have been reduced twice, from $370, which would get us about a month's worth of food, down to like $195, and now it's being reduced to like $135. Alrighty, no problem. Looking is perfectly fine. And now that Nari Mom's SSI has gone up, they'll probably use that as an excuse to reduce it again. Food stamps is not the only thing that's being affected. The WIC program is now being affected. So now, WIC is a program for low-income mothers to get food for their newly born babies and stuff like that. It's mainly like milk and Pedialyte and like formula and, you know, fruits and vegetables, things like that. That is seen, I think I saw like a 75% decrease in funding. And also a decrease in who qualifies for WIC. So low-income mothers are now being stripped of their ability to get their newborn children food. Yeah, like is America great yet? Like, is it? Is it great? Is this what greatness is? So yeah, these are all the new sweeping changes that Trump is making across the United States. So it's not just me that's being completely like shit on by this country. It's pretty much everyone. Like everyone who is below the median income, and the median income is now $75,000 a year. That's the low middle class, 75,000. If you're below that, you're in the poverty level. Although the government won't say that. They still say that the poverty level is 1,800 or 18,000, not 100. Yeah, if you make less than $18,000 a year, the government considers you in the poverty level. But in reality, if you make less than $75,000 a year, you're in the poverty level. And like, yeah, and I'm still getting flack from the older generation saying, "Oh, you're just not trying hard enough." I'm like, really? The minimum wage in the United States hasn't changed since 1997. Well, I think it has changed in 97. In 1997, it was $7.25, and they raised it, I think, in 2009 to $7.95, and it hasn't been touched since. In order for, and people keep saying, like, oh, well, when I was your age, I was able to, like, work a job and then go to college and pay off my house at the same time. I'm like, well, yes, because the minimum wage buying power that you had in 1970 is equivalent to earning about $65,000 a year in the current value of the dollar. But yeah, I know you were earning 18,500 in 1970, but that is equivalent to 65,000 today. That is how much inflation we've seen. And as the dollar is losing value, the prices of things are going up, but nobody is touching the minimum wage because everybody wants to say, "Oh, well, you don't need $15 an hour to survive. You shouldn't raise the minimum wage to that." You're right. We shouldn't raise the minimum wage to that. We should raise it to $37 an hour, which is where it needs to be in order for you to afford your rent. Yeah, it's crazy. Nobody working one job in this country can afford rent anywhere in this country right now. You cannot afford to live on a 9-to-5 job in the United States anywhere. That's not a problem with the working class. That's a problem with the government and the people that own these companies. And yeah, if your workers cannot afford to pay their rent and buy groceries, even though they're working 40 hours a week, you aren't paying your workers enough. That's the long and short of it. If they're working their full 40 hours a week and they cannot afford rent, you aren't paying them enough. And it used to be that the government would come in and make you pay them properly. But now they're not. Median UK is equivalent to about 53,000. And what's the minimum wage? That's the comparison that everybody seems to be missing in the United States is when you go out and you get a 9-to-5 job, you're probably going to be getting a 9-to-5 job in the minimum wage bracket or as high as maybe $15 an hour. There's some places that are paying like $15. When you take that amount of money, what can you get with $15? And let's do some calculations. I have a calculator right here. Okay, so we have a calculator. We have $15 an hour times 40 hours a week. That's $600. And let's say we get. First, we'll go back to that $600. At $15, 40 hours a week, that's $600. From that $600, we need to take out about 100. Not 600 minus about 120 with taxes. What the fuck, calculator? Where are you getting that? $600 minus $120 is $480, not $360,000. Fucking Windows, I swear to God. About $24? Yeah. This is the high end that I'm calculating out there. So we'll say you bring in about $480 a week, which is about average. We'll multiply that by 4. That's $1,920. Okay, so $1,920 a month is what you're bringing in. Now, our rent is $1,350. Right off the bat, for the month, we have $570. Now, if you're driving back and forth to work, currently gas is about $4 a gallon. You'll need to fill up maybe twice a week. That's another $100. If you're getting groceries, that's another $300. Now you're down to $170. You want to pay your phone bill. That's my phone bill is $105. That's $65. But you also have to pay your power bill. My power bill runs about $145. You're already in the hole. Already in the hole. And that's if you're getting paid $15 an hour. If you're getting paid minimum wage, which is $7.95 times 40 minus 100, $218 a week times 4, that's $872. You don't even have enough to pay your rent. That's minimum wage in the United States. $872 a month. That's not enough to pay rent on a one-bedroom apartment in the United States. Anywhere. And when you ask people, they say, oh, minimum wage is fine. You can work 2 jobs full-time and not make enough money to live on. Our economy is not fine. Our economy is failing. Failing. And you said it's about $24. Let's do this calculation again with $24. 24 times 40 is 960. Minus about 130 of that off as taxes. That's double what my initial estimate for a week was. Like at $15 an hour. We're already double that. Multiply that by 4, 3,320. Okay, let's subtract off the same things. Let's minus $1,350 for rent, $300 for groceries, $105 for the phone, $145 for power, $100 for gas. That's still over $1,000 left in your pocket when your basic bills are done at the end of the month. That's enough to actually start like putting into a savings account and doing things with. When the bills are done, you still have money in your pocket. But they won't do that. They won't. And you said low average in rent is $1,700. Okay, well I put it at $1,350. So let's subtract another $400 for the rent difference. That's still $920. You pay the most for electricity in the world, so let's subtract another $50 for added electricity costs. Yeah. And not only is it a necessity, it's just barely scraping by. Just barely. And if both of those incomes are minimum wage or $15 incomes, if they both like $15 and $1 hour incomes, you can scrape by. If they're both minimum wage, even with 2 people, it's not enough. Not for the cheapest house and the cheapest place in all of the United States. But we've raised a generation of people who can't think. And then we let them raise another generation of people who can't think. The current generation that's coming up is we have 2 generations of adults that were raised in such a way that they cannot think and they cannot problem solve. They are not capable of fixing problems. And now we're coming up on a third generation of people who are going to inherit these problems without the tool sets needed to fix them. Yeah, I don't. I don't understand why governments think it's a good idea to punish their population and not their businesses. Like I don't understand why they always come back to that. Like as as a civilization, like there's some things that the government should give their people. They should give their people health care. They should give their people a place to live, and they should give their people food. Like you should provide that, and you absolutely can provide that for every person in your country. Even the United States can do it. Like we have enough money, they play around with enough money to provide every person in the United States with a house, electricity, water, heating, food, all for free. Like we can do that, and healthcare. Like we can do that. We can make our people not have to suffer. And then if they want things like fancy televisions and cars and like internet connections and stuff like that, yeah, make them go work for that extra stuff. But all the utilities and necessities, we should give that to the people and charge the businesses for it. Don't give the businesses electricity, make the business pay for it. The people get to have it for free at your house. Businesses have to work for it. And then you can go after people who are trying to like run a business out of their house to cheat the system and all that. Yeah, by all means. Like sort that situation out. But always on the business side of it. And I guarantee if you implement that kind of a system in your country is going to be the most prosperous country in the world. Because the other direction that you go, which is tax your people all to hell and make them pay for all of their utilities and then keep raising their living expenses and lowering their income, eventually you're going to have a bunch of starving people. And when you have a bunch of starving people, you're going to find out very quickly that you're not going to have a government for very much longer, because those starving people are going to start killing people in the government, and they're going to overthrow the country. Like, this is not rocket science. This is human history. Every government we've had in every country going back all through history has ended this way. All of them. The government eventually starts taxing the hell out of the people start starving, the people murder everybody in the government and install a new one who promises to do things the right way and does for a little while. People say it won't happen to the United States. They said that it wouldn't happen to Rome either. Look where Rome is. They had control of the entire world at one point. Look at what happened to the Greek Empire before. They had control of the entire world at one point. The Persians had control of the entire world at one point. The Egyptians had most of it at one point. All of these civilizations made the same mistake. And if you don't want to reach back to ancient history, go back and look at the USSR. They had like a whole half of Europe. Like the USSR was huge. Made the same mistake. Look at what's happening in China right now. China is currently on its way to falling apart the same way the United States is. Go back and look at what happened in Romania. Like these are recent things. It's still happening in the world, and it's happening right now in the United States. And the corrective action is to... Oh yeah, no worries, Lojo. Yeah. No worries. But yeah, the corrective action, what you have to do to fix this is not punish your citizens. Like, every country that has free healthcare is more prosperous than the United States, across the board. Like, all you have to do is look at the numbers and to see that that's true. Imagine if we had free housing, free utilities, free food, and free healthcare. If those were givens to the United States, and I'm not even talking about like everybody gets their own house and like an acre yard. No, build like apartment buildings and give them an apartment at a size that's equal to their household size. Like if they have 2 people, give them a 2-bedroom apartment. If they have 1 person, give them a 1-bedroom apartment, and have the apartments overseen by the government. So that if you can live in the shitty government apartments over here, but you have a place to stay, you get food stipends for the month, and all of your utilities and everything are paid for that apartment. If you want a better place, you want a better apartment, yeah, by all means, move out, get a better apartment, buy a house, do stuff like that. But always have that net to fall back on. The governments can absolutely do that. You would solve the homeless problem. Just like that. Bam. No more homeless people. Because now they have a place to go. Where they can sleep, they can get food, and all of that. That's what the council housing was. And that's the thing. Yeah, this is going to be a loss. Like, there are going to be problems with it. They're not. A lot of the communities are going to run into like problems with some of the people that are put in there. It's gonna be a low income community. They're basically gonna be slums in some places. But it's not living on the street. And it will eventually solve a lot of problems. Like the homeless problem, the only people then who would be homeless would be the drug addicts. And you can fix that situation in slightly more brutal terms than you can by having some of the homeless people. That's the same thing in the United States. There are hundreds of thousands of houses here that are empty because they want to sell the houses to people at $250,000 each or more. Like houses in this area are going for like $350,000, and nobody in this area can afford that. And the houses are being built for like $150, if that. They are the cheapest pieces of shit houses that you could possibly make. And they're wanting to sell them for like $350,000 a piece. And so what we have is they're building huge sub-communities, but 95% of the houses in those communities are empty because there's nobody that can afford them. They're £1, but you have to guarantee you can spend. Yeah, see that, and that's the thing. But anytime anybody mentions that the government should be fronting the bill for that, that people in the country should have free housing, free utilities, free food, and free healthcare, that should be provided to the government in exchange for the taxes that we pay. Everybody seems to be against it. And then they wonder why the country is going to shit. And now you have the people that are so wholeheartedly against raising the minimum wage to $25 so that a single income household can afford to live, are the same people who are now wondering why eggs are $18 a carton. Like, these things are connected. Like, you can't say punish the poor people because I hate them, and then, oh no, why is my milk too expensive to buy? Guess what category you're in when the government like gets involved? You're one of the poor people. You're getting punished right alongside all of those others. When you're paying $5 or more for like gasoline, and you can't afford eggs, milk, and bread because they're now too expensive. When your power bills tripled in the last month, even though you've actually reduced the amount of electricity that you're using. And then everybody's like, oh, well, how could I have foreseen this? Like, nobody could have saw this coming. Like, no, everybody saw it coming. Everybody saw it coming. All the intelligent people, I should say, saw it coming because we've been educated about this shit. Yeah, but here I am ranting about all of this again. And it's frustrating from someone in my point of view who is handicapped. Like, spinal injuries don't go away. Like, once you have them forever. Like, we don't replace spinal columns. Yeah, I mean, it's the same things are going on here with that. Except now the news is suppressing stories about people not being able to afford their utilities. Because there are still stories out there of people who can't afford heating in the winter, and they can't afford air conditioning in the summer. And people don't, I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people in Europe, don't realize that air conditioning in many places in the United States is a requirement. Because yeah, it gets hot in a lot of places, but when you're out west and it's 120 degrees in the shade, like, it's deadly amounts of heat inside of vehicles and houses that don't have air conditioning in there. Even with air conditioning, you're still talking about temperatures in the 80, 90 degrees, and this is Fahrenheit. 48 degrees for you guys. Imagine going outside and standing in the shade under a tree where you're not in direct sunlight, and it's 48.8 degrees, 49 degrees outside. Can you imagine that happening anywhere in Britain? But you go out to like Texas and Arizona, New Mexico. We have a desert called the Mojave Desert in the United States that is several states wide. It ranges from Texas to California. Your houses are designed to keep the heat in? Yeah. I mean, this is out in Arizona on a sunny day in the summer. You can go outside and you're going to get temperatures like this 48 to 50 degrees while you're in the shade, not in direct sunlight. That's outside. How hot do you think it is inside of a house that doesn't have air conditioning when it's that hot outside the house? In those areas, air conditioning is mandatory for survival. Otherwise, your houses are ovens. They're too hot to live in. And we still have people here in the US saying that AC is a luxury. Like, it's not a luxury. Go live in the fucking desert and tell me it's a luxury. And then, like, on the same day, this is the United States. On the day that you're getting 50-degree heat in Arizona, you can get negative 31-degree temperatures in Wisconsin. Like, the country varies that much, especially at the start of the year. In January, you can absolutely see that big of a difference between Arizona and Wisconsin. And that's your kind of temperature. Come move up to Wisconsin, Chicago, U.S. That's the temperature you're gonna see. Like, and they get temperatures like that like half the year. Negative 25, it's easy temp to pull in Wisconsin in the winter. Even going into spring, easy temp. And I've seen this. I've been a truck driver. I've driven from Wisconsin to Texas and gone from 7-foot high snow drifts on both sides of the road where it feels like you're driving in a tunnel because of the snow is piled up so high, to the asphalt melting because the road is getting too hot. Like, on one truck trip that spanned 2 days, going from Wisconsin to Texas, I went from 7-foot high snow drifts to the asphalt on the road melting because it's too hot. Yeah. And there's still people that say heating and cooling are, all asphalt sucks. Like, all asphalt everywhere sucks. We have better alternatives, but asphalt is cheaper. I mean, the roads that they built 500 years ago are better than the ones we build today with asphalt. And we have materials that we could build the roads out of, like fiberglass and plastic, that would hold up better than asphalt does. And people have made suggestions to replace our roadways with more technologically advanced roadways. We can lay down roadways with plastic and fiberglass and frame them with aluminum and then put LEDs and stuff in the roadways, not have to worry about things like reflectors, and if traffic patterns change, add another panel onto the road there and then just change the lines that are automatically drawn in the LEDs. Like, people have suggested things like this. And it's a huge upfront cost, but it pretty much eliminates the cost of repairing and replacing roads down the line. But no. Because asphalt is cheaper. Never mind that 25 years down the line, these roads will still be there and in place and not having to be repaired every 6 months. In 25 years, they'll have paid for themselves in repairs alone. But that technology is actually banned in the United States. Yep. I think I'm gonna have to figure out a new way to mount the iPhone, because down here, I think the camera is getting obstructed a lot. Yeah. So yeah. I guess that's my rant for the day. It's frustrating from as I was saying, it's frustrating from someone in my point of view. Okay, yeah. Because I don't have a way out of this situation. I mean that makes sense. The United States does the same thing. And we've known about the US doing it since the 90s. Hell, they make a joke about it in Independence Day. Have you seen the movie Independence Day? What's his name's dad makes a joke about it. Like, you don't think they spend $20,000 on a hammer, $10,000 on a toilet seat, do you? I mean, that's what they put on fucking paper. But yeah, and yeah, then you have people that are in my situation. I can't work because of the injuries I have to my back. I cannot go out there and do a 9 to 5 job. What is the way forward now for me? I have no idea. Getting disability to recognize that I am disabled. But the moment I actually got a lawyer to start going through my disability was the moment that all of my insurance that I was getting through the marketplace stopped. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that my government aid was specifically paused because I started applying for disability. Because in order to get on disability, you need to get seen by different doctors and prove that you are disabled. If I can't afford to get seen by the doctors, then they have reason to deny my disability claim. And it's a very big coincidence that the moment I got lawyers involved to push my disability forward was the same moment that all of my insurance stopped. And I don't have any family or anybody to back me up and help me like get the stuff. No, our system is not set up like that. The way getting disability works in the United States is you file the claim and it goes to a paper pusher somewhere who isn't a doctor. They're not even a judge. They're just somebody who works at the SSI office, and they read it and then they decide whether or not I mean, it's the same thing for the insurance. The insurance is supposed to take into account your income and stuff for government insurance. But our government is run by a dictator who hates poor people. So, and he's been rewriting all of these laws. The person in charge of our healthcare industry, RFK Jr., knows absolutely nothing about medicine or even how vaccines work. And the first thing that they did when Trump and RFK dipshit came into office was gut our healthcare and our understanding of medicine. The first thing that they attacked are vaccines, trying to make vaccines illegal everywhere. And now we have things like smallpox and the measles coming back. We've had both smallpox and measles outbreaks in the United States for the first time in something like 150 years. Specifically because of them attacking vaccines. I mean, those were diseases that we had cured that are now coming back. And these are the people that are making these decisions on whether or not people are disabled or deserve to have government-funded insurance. And one of the things that they look at to decide both of these things is whether or not a job exists that you could do. Now, their list of jobs that exist that I could do has not been updated in over 100 years. We don't have that kind of access to those people. I can't even get a phone. Like, I've been trying for over a month now just to get a phone conversation with somebody. It's an automated system that puts you on hold, then kicks you out of hold after 2.5 hours, back into the automated system, which just dumps you back on the hold again. So yeah, like, you can't just call them up. And if you do get somebody, they can just hang up, and then you have to go through the whole, like, 4 or 5 hour wait through their automated system again. And if at any point their automated system screws up, it dumps you out, and then you gotta call back in and do the whole thing all over again. So yeah, like, I haven't even, I've been trying since January to get in touch with somebody about what were then changes to my healthcare. It's April, still haven't been able to get in touch with anybody. Maybe I should spoof my phone number to be like an out-of-country number, and maybe they might answer the damn thing. When I say things are shit here in the U.S., this is what I mean. They are. It is not good here. And the thing is, I can't even blame them for having wait times like that, because Trump and Elon Musk fired 90% of our government workers that work in these places. The IRS, the Social Security Administration have between 10 and 15% of the people working there than what they had before Trump took office. He's fired 95% of the people across all of these agencies. That's what Doge and Elon Musk were doing. Healthcare, taxes, education, all of them got gutted. And we are seeing the implications of that. We're seeing it right now with our airports, right? Because technically our government is shut down, which means government employees everywhere aren't getting paid. And it did hit the news recently with TSA agents. TSA agents were not getting paid and having to freelance out, and so a lot of them got fired. And what did Trump do to fix the situation? He replaced them with ICE agents. ICE agents are getting paid, by the way. They have their own private funding source tied into the president himself. So ICE agents still getting paid. And they're getting paid better than about 80% of the people in the United States. And the scary thing is that there's no qualifications required to become an ICE agent. All you have to do is pass like the physical. These are things that every once in a while in the news over here, you'll hear about this stuff. But I don't imagine any of these stories make it outside of the U.S. I doubt that most of the world actually knows how bad it's getting here for people. Yep. Because even before Trump started killing off all of these programs, yeah, that's pretty true everywhere due to news cycles. People are more interested in what's happening to them than what's happening anywhere else. So unless something hugely controversial happens, you're not going to hear about things that are happening in other countries unless you go digging for it. And that's especially true of the United States, because the news over here is just a government mouthpiece. Like, it is very 1984 over here when it comes to the news. If you just like turn on the TV and watch the news, all you're hearing are government talking points over and over and over again. You're not actually getting any real news. You can't get it from our news stations. Which is why so many people like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and people are going to places like Philip DeFranco on YouTube to get their news, because these people are actually talking about what's really happening here in this country. and just coming right out and say you can't trust Fox, you can't trust CNN, you can't trust NBC. Like, they're not telling you the truth about what's happening here. And we've seen it straight up. We've had ICE agents walk up to people on the street and shoot them and kill them. That has happened here in the United States. And a lot of times those reports don't even make it to our news anymore. That stuff is found out because somebody pulled out their cell phone and recorded somebody being shot to death by ICE agents in the street. And then that video went viral. And people started talking about it. The woman that was trying to get away from ICE agents in her car, and was shot to death by one of the ICE agents. The narrative that they spun on the news is that she ran over an ICE agent. But we have video. Her car never touched any of the agents. One of them was just walking in front of the vehicle, pulled out his gun, and executed her. Same thing happened to a guy who was on the street. Executed by ICE agents because he was trying to get other people out of harm's way. And we have video of that. They said, well, he had a gun. Yes, he had a gun, but we have the entire video where 3 guys took him to the ground. A 4th guy came up, pulled his gun out, handed it to somebody else, and then a 5th guy came up and shot him in the head. I mean, we have video on it, but that's not what we heard on the news. On the news, we heard that he was violent and he pulled a gun, and ICE agents defended themselves. That's what was said on the news. That's what was said when the head of ICE at the time went and gave a public speech on what happened. But when you watch the video, that's not what actually happened. But then you have a limited amount of time with when you're allowed to watch those videos, because every time somebody posts it up on social media, those people's accounts get deleted. And I wish I could say I'm making this up, but it's happening. And they're doing things that are making it worse. Because now they're banning routers that aren't made in the United States. And I can promise you that the next step is they're going to open up a facility in the United States that makes American routers and make everybody have to use those. And they're going to be filled with spyware from the government that is now going to be tracking everything that you do. This is the step before that step is implemented. And everybody wants to swear up and down that they're not going to do that. No, they would never do that. That doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect. Our government, it's like they found the greatest villains of all time playbook, and they're trying to see how many of those villains' policies that they can implement. They're speedrunning the Hall of Fame villains playbook. And I feel like the only thing that we need to know to see that that's true is the fact that they're now restricting access to pregnant mothers and infants. Election cycles in the U.S. are every 4 years. When's the next presidential primary? day does... It's 2024. I don't want 2024. Can I have something that's not PDS dates, please? I want the date, not deadlines. Okay, well, I guess it's not giving me the date. The next presidential election, we have one in, was it 2024? So it'll be 2028. I was trying to get the exact date. But it'll be late in the year in 2028. It's every 4 years. For presidential elections. Other elections are different ones. Different times. Well, I'm going to take a quick little break, and then I will be right back. Alrighty, I have returned. So yeah, the next election cycle in the United States is for presidential elections 2028. Um, the election actually takes place on November 7th, and the person who elections take place at different times up until November 7th when everything is decided, and then the next president takes office in 2029 on January 20th. That's if the U.S. has another election cycle. Donald Trump has already made it clear several times that he's not planning to leave office. He wants to eliminate the amendment that makes it where presidents can only serve 2 terms, so he could be elected a 3rd term. And he's already taking actions to postpone the next presidential election so that it doesn't happen, so he can remain in office. Like, these things are happening right now, and people are just uneducated or ignoring it, or it's just saying it's conspiracy theories and stuff. But yeah, Trump is in a cycle right now where he's going to war with everybody, and he's enabling warmongers around the world and picking countries to back, and then those countries go to war, and then he backs them up. And if he can keep that up, and we're in war when the presidential election happens, it might not happen. Especially if we get attacked here in the United States. If somebody comes here in the US and detonates a nuclear weapon, he can declare a state of emergency that would postpone the general elections. And like Caesar did in Rome, maintain power until that war has, or that national emergency has ended. Because people have realized with governments that the middle of a national emergency is not where you want to change in power. Unless that leadership is the cause of the national emergency. So if Trump can manipulate another country to detonate a nuclear weapon here in the United States, anywhere in the next 2 years, he might be able to get a national emergency declared that would postpone the election and allow him to stay in power. And if people don't think that that's a possibility, they aren't paying attention. I mean, inserting the United States into a war in the Middle East unprovoked is not the way to go. Especially the way that he did it. Yes, I get it. People say that you can't say things against the Jews because it's anti-Semitic and whatnot, but Israel has been one of the biggest warmongering countries in the history of the world. Their own look at their own history in their own holy book, and you can see it. They put it on display proudly. The countries that they stomped through, murdering and raping all over the place. Take a read of the Old Testament if you don't believe me on that one. It is proudly on display. And they've been that way too. With the battle with the Palestinians on the Gaza Strip. Both sides of that conflict have been violating the ceasefire constantly. Both sides of them. They're both guilty. Look, the people in that region are suffering because of their government and their leadership just want to be at war. And it's not just the Israel-Palestine thing. Israel attacked Iran, and then the United States attacked Iran, and then Israel turned around and attacked Jordan. Yeah, and they say that, and that's one of the things that you get out of Israel. Oh, we're God's chosen people, and then if you still criticize them, you get classified as an anti-Semite because the Israelites, the Jews, were the people that Hitler attacked in World War II, and there was the Holocaust, and millions and millions and millions of Jews died. And yeah, that happened, and that was horrible. But that happened 100 years ago, my man. Like, how are you using that to describe you attacking us, like, two sovereign countries yesterday? Said Jikli Mossad was set up a dirty bomb in the U.S. The guy who showed the Twin Towers weeks before 9/11. He showed another build, and they said they're closing the Twitter account. Yeah, like I am expecting a nuclear strike on U.S. soil within the next 2 years. Like, I think we are leading towards something like that. And even if there is like intel on it happening, I don't think it would be stopped. It is too much of what Trump needs to stay in power. And I'd like people are saying they don't understand what Trump's doing, going to war with Iran. Well, I do. Like, if you don't understand it, it's because you don't want to understand it. First off, Iran is a terrible country, right? And if there's any country in the world that deserves somebody to come stomp over their leadership and take over, it's Iran. And they're proving it to the whole world right now. Because of, like, yeah, Trump went over there and started this war, but now Iran is attacking all of their neighbors. They're just attacking everybody. They're going after everybody. It's very much of the situation of you kick the hornet's nest, and now everybody who's near the hornet's nest is getting stung. That's exactly what Iran is. And it's going to have to be handled the same way. They're not going to go to peace now. You're going to have to go in there and kill all the hornets and take it over. Like, that's the end of this conflict. It ends the same way that World War II ended with Germany, with everybody else now controlling that territory and Iran ceasing to exist. And then you have a whole new citizenry right there that are like basically homeless in their own homeland, because the people that are going to be taking over Iran are not going to be Muslim, and they're not going to treat them fairly, and so they're going to lose their culture and their religion and their homes overnight, and that's going to create a large hatred right there in that area. Because if there's anything we learned from Afghanistan, is that the moment you take one of those countries and give it back to the people, the radicals immediately take it back. So, look, we can't give, we won't, once Iran is taken, we won't be able to give it back to the Iranian people, because the radicals will come in and take it over again. We can't give it to the Israelites because they're almost as bad when it comes to attacking people. Like, there will be no choice but to hold that country indefinitely. And that will probably fall to NATO to do that. Because the United States is not going to want to do it once it starts costing the U.S. money to maintain Iran. Because that was the same reason that Trump pulled us out of Afghanistan. Or was it Obama that pulled us out of Afghanistan? One of them did it, and it was a purely financial reason that they did it. I think it might have been Obama right at the end of his term. And then ISIS had control of Afghanistan within a week. The exact same thing will happen with Iran. And I don't see an end to this Iranian war that doesn't involve complete dismantling of Iran in its current form. And this could very well set off World War III. It's only a matter of time before Iran pokes the wrong country. Yeah. Eventually Iran is going to make a mistake and they're going to poke Russia, or they're going to poke China, or they're going to poke Saudi Arabia too hard. Because they've already been poking Saudi Arabia. And one of these countries is going to decide that Iran doesn't need to exist anymore, and we're going to have an issue. So yeah, I don't see an easy end to this conflict. And now with the complete blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, like Iran has already said that if the strait gets blockaded, they're gonna start attacking all of their neighbors. Well, that's it. That's World War III right there. And I don't think it's too far of a leap for people to jump to blaming the US for starting it. Because yeah, Iran is the problem, and Iran would be the problem that we have to deal with. But there's still the fact that the US started that conflict. And I think more than a little bit of negativity is going to be going towards the US because of that. And maybe enough for someone to send a dirty bomb over here. It'll happen because the government spend too much time and money preparing for it. I'm gonna say yes and no, because the court of public opinion does matter a lot. And it's the reason that I say that's fair. Over here in the US, nobody is pointing the finger at Israel, because Israel is protected because they're God's chosen people, not only to Jews but to Christians as well. And then add the Holocaust on top of that. Jews and Israelites are an untouchable class over here, because if you do, you're anti-Christian, you're an anti-Semite, and you get branded all of these things. But I'm like, Benjamin Netanyahu is the biggest warmonger on the planet right now. He's somehow managed to be worse than Trump. Like, we've known this for a while. And yeah, I think the world is right to point the finger at Israel, because the United States attacked Iran because of Israel. I mean, that's where Trump didn't just pick that nation by throwing a dart at a map of the world. Like, Israel was going to make a strike on them, and so Trump did it first to kind of prove ties with Israel. Because the United States was already backing Israel in the war against the Palestinians in Gaza. And then we got burned when they turned them, was it Jordan that they bombed again? Who's an ally in NATO? They turned and bombed one of our NATO allies. So yeah, if you want to know who's like starting a bunch of shit, it is absolutely Israel doing it. Benjamin Netanyahu is a warmonger. And I don't know how he's still in power over there. He's doing some crazy, like, dictator shit to keep himself in power over there. But if you say anything like that over here, you're an anti-Semite. I'm like, it's kind of the truth, though. I mean, it's kind of true. If there's a war going on, he can't be indicted for the crimes he was going on trial for. Well, yeah, that's true in the United States as well. But in the United States, it doesn't even have to be a war. The sitting president can't be they can be indicted, but they can't be punished, basically. If, like, Donald Trump knows, if he goes out of office under the normal rules of the presidency, he is going to prison. Like, that is going to happen. He's not going to be able to avoid it this time. And he's not going to be able to come back and run for a third term while, I think it's the 26th, 27th Amendment, 28th Amendment, one of those, is in place. So he's going to have to try and get that amendment removed so that he can run for office again or maintain his stay in office. Otherwise, he will be seeing prison time when he gets out. He has a lot of work to do in order to make that not happen. So he is very much like on the track for that. But Trump is getting himself in a whole bunch of hot water right now. One, for all of the war crimes that he's committing. Like, I don't know how people can justify any of the actions that the United States have taken in this conflict when the first action that the United States took was to bomb a school and kill 100 children. And now Trump is saying, oh, well, we're going to bomb their infrastructure. We're going to take out the bridges. We're going to take out their power. We're going to take out their food supplies. We're going to take out their water supplies. I'm like, you can't do that. We signed the Geneva Convention. Like, there are rules. There are targets that you can't attack in war. And it doesn't matter if Iran will attack them. That doesn't matter. We are not them. These targets should be off limits. You can't blame the people for the actions of their government. But that seems to be like far and removed. And a lot of times the governments don't get to, like I said, eventually this is gonna fall apart. We've seen this throughout history. While you're like, Rome is a good example. Caesar took power in this way, and once he had it, he never gave it up. And by the time the war was over and there were no more wars for them to fight, they completely fell apart. And they fell apart because their people were starving, and the people decided, hey, you're not allowing us to get food anymore, maybe you don't need to be here, we're gonna start over. That's where the term Vox Populi, Vox Dei came from. The voice of the people is the voice of God. You can't let your people starve, because your people will kill you and start over. Like, once people start starving, change starts happening, because people don't like to starve. Not much we can do. Need to focus on sorting me out. With my situation, if I can get on disability, Narimom and I will be stabilized until something happens to Narimom. And then I will be back in a similar situation where I won't be able to afford anything. At least not while I live in the United States. I mean, I have an associate's degree in computer programming and a bachelor's degree in game design. I know how to do that. I'm working on a novel that I'm hoping to be able to sell, and make my living as a writer, or make a living as a streamer. But none of these are certainties. And with how things are going with health and everything at the moment, like, writing has been like almost impossible. Cause like in addition to the dental things, and luckily the dental stuff has not been an issue lately. We got a lot of the problem teeth removed with it. I could just turn up over there. I have very much considered going abroad. That is something that I have considered, because I know that if I was in Europe, I would be employed right now. Like, I could walk into a place, say, hey, I can't move around. Do you have a job where I can sit down and do the job? And I can almost promise you I can find something somewhere where I can sit down and do a job. Like, but you can't get that in the United States, not anymore. Our job industry over here is pretty much frozen at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have jobs, but people are keeping their employees and they're not hiring their employees, so the job industry is very much frozen. And then higher level companies are dumping so many of their employees. Like, I can't get a tech job in the United States because I haven't been able to get a tech job for the past couple years. Because when it comes down to hiring somebody who's willing to work at a lower level that has experience and hiring somebody new, they'll pick the person with experience. So when a company like Sony or Activision or Blizzard lays off 90% of their workforce, and all those experienced developers dump into the industry that you're trying to get a job in, like, the people that are just coming out of college, don't stand a chance against the other people, especially when you're competing for the same entry level positions, which is where a lot of those people went when they got dumped out of those big companies. Yes, I know this happens all over the place, but different countries have different rules with regards to stuff like this, and it doesn't happen as often in many European countries. Some of them it does, as it does in the United States. So I'm fairly certain that had I been in Europe, I would be employed right now, and that my disability wouldn't be that as much of an issue as it is over here. Because what's stopping me over here is they're saying, oh well, why don't you just go get a job at that construction place over there? They're hiring. They look like they need like workers right now. I'm like, I can't do construction work. Like my back is like 10 kinds of fucked up here. Like I need office work, but the people who have the office jobs won't give up the office jobs. And nobody is hiring for new office positions other than sales positions. And sales positions is entirely commission based, which is no guarantee of any income. So yeah, I'm in kind of a rough spot when it comes to what I can do, and the people that are in my situation that can't get a job because of the disabilities that I have are supposed to be getting a disability stipend from the government, but they make it almost impossible to get. So, like, I've got a lawyer working for me, but they cut off my health insurance. So now that I don't have access to the doctors I need to prove that I'm disabled. Because last week or the week before last, I took a day off to go to what was supposed to be a pain specialist, which is one of the doctors I need to sign off on my pain level to prove disability. But they refused to see me because I didn't have $250 that they wanted up front for that medical visit. So I was denied like that entire visit. I sat up there in that waiting room for like an hour and a half, and ultimately didn't get to see anybody. They just turned me away, and I had to go. And that's gonna, as long as I don't have insurance, those medical doors are going to stay closed. There's no way for me to get in there. And as long as I'm pursuing disability, I have the feeling that I'm not going to qualify for insurance. Like they're not going to make it where I can just prove that I'm disabled. And then they're going to bring it up in court saying, oh, well, he didn't go to the doctor and get this approval, and he didn't go and get this approval. And I can't use the argument, well, I can't afford it. Because they don't recognize it. Well, why didn't you try the government programs? Like, the government programs stopped the moment I started filing for unemployment. And then it becomes the whole thing. Oh, well, you can't accuse the government of cutting off your health care in order to deny you unemployment. So, yeah. Big circle right there. So all I just have to rely on the lawyers, because eventually you get through. But in order to get put on disability, it takes several years, because it takes like 4 different rejections before you get a trial. And it takes like 6 to 8 months, sometimes up to 16 months for one rejection to happen. So if they're on point with the 4 rejections, it's 2 years. If they're slow about it, it's 4 or 5 years. And that's just to get the trial. And once you get the trial, you have to get a judge that's willing to look at it and not immediately deny it, because a lot of judges will just immediately deny it, and then you have to go to a retrial on it. Like, it's ridiculous what you have to go through to get this benefit. Meanwhile, if you're not being supported by someone, like, I'm lucky that Nari Mom has an income, because I'm taking care of her, and her income is taking care of us. But yeah, like, if I didn't have Nari Mom, I wouldn't have a place to live. So yeah, like, my only way that I see out of the situation that I'm in is if disability comes through, because then Nari Mom and I can at least start having a little bit of money left. And things like saving money, that doesn't exist when you can't make the bills. Like, because there's so many people who get out there and they get on YouTube and TikTok and stuff, and they make videos like, oh, well, you're poor because you're not saving money. I'm like, dude, what money? That's easy to say when you have $1,000 extra income every month. You can take that and put that in your bank. But when you run out of money and you still have $500 of bills to make, there's no saving any money. Like, we're not buying extraneous things here. Like, every dollar that comes into our house goes right back out for food. Like, that is the reality right now for Nari Mom and I. Like, every dollar that comes in turns around and goes back out for food, or for some other household implement. And like, we still need more help. I mean, that's just the long and short of it, because I'm a diabetic. I'm supposed to be on insulin, taking 300 milligrams, 330 milligrams of insulin every day. But I haven't had insulin in over a month because I can't afford it. It's $1,300, like, per shot. I'm supposed to be on Ozempic, which is the same price. And these are considered life-saving medicines that if diabetics don't maintain taking these medicines, they die. And like, I just haven't been able to afford them for over a month. And there's nothing that I can do about that. Try to call the places where I'm on hold for 3 hours, and then it resets and kicks me back to the start of the system. And I just have to hope that somebody gets to my phone call before the 3-hour reset happens. And that's not even any guarantee that the person I get on the phone is going to either be able to or want to solve my issue. And that's one of the suckiest things about this whole situation, is I don't see a way out. There is not a path that I can take that I haven't already tried to take. And I get so many suggestions from you guys in the audience as well. But it's suggestions on things that I've already tried. I've tried the government programs. I've tried Trump's insurance thing. Like, I'm aware that drugs like Ozempic have just had their patents run out, and now you can get generic versions of it. But the generic versions of those drugs are still $1,300. Yeah, the moment the patent went up on Ozempic, 4 different types of Ozempic came out on the market under 4 different names that are each like $1,300 to $1,500 a piece. And they're all marketed as weight loss drugs instead of diabetic assistance drugs. Because I got an email from something called Wegovy, Manjaro, Zepbound, Zaxnada, Trulicity. There was another one that I just got an email from that just a couple of days ago. It might have been Rubelsis. I don't know, but all of these are the same drugs. And there's more and more of them coming out, because there's one that I hadn't heard of at all that sent me an email wanting me to buy their version of it, and it was the semaglutide, which is what Ozempic is. Like, just because something has gone and has a generic version of it doesn't mean that the generic version is affordable in the United States. And like, yeah, like how am I supposed to afford the life-saving medicine that I need when it costs as much as rent? Like, I either pay my rent or I get the drugs that I need to not die. You know, because I know Amazon has started a pharmacy. Okay. I had to move this over to the other screen so that it doesn't give my personal infos away, which it almost did. Legal first name. Okay. Well, that was entirely uninformed. Well, uninformed is the wrong word. Pointless, I guess you would say. It doesn't seem like their pharmacy is set up with something where you could just like look up. Yeah, because when you look up stuff, I mean this is what I use for insulin right here. This stuff. Buy with insurance starting at $35. Buy without insurance at $35. Not around here. Definitely not from CVS, which is where I picked this stuff up from. But yeah, 90-day supply. Buy with insurance at $105 for 30 days, $35. According to this, it's like 66% off. So without insurance, I could buy it at $35. Um, which would be great if that was the case, but that's not the case for this stuff. Because when I go to CVS without insurance, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is $500 some dollars." Like, and what can I say? No, it's not that much. You need to give it to me for less, and they just help me to get lost. If I could get this for $35, which is what I was paying for it, even when I had the bad insurance, that would be great. But when this starts costing hundreds or thousands of dollars, no. It's not affordable. And now that they've actually canceled my insurance outright, even my other medications are going to drastically go up in price. So I'm not going to be able to afford the blood pressure medication that they have me on. They have me on another medication for diabetes called metformin. They have me on an anti-inflammatory medication for my back called meloxicam. When all of those go up to $50 a piece, that's gonna price them straight out of my price range. And I can't trust that the pharmacy I use, CVS, is going to put them at a fair price, even if I don't have insurance, because they overprice everything at CVS. When I got the insulin for the first time, the little pin caps that you need to inject it, CVS wanted to charge me $250 a box for 100 of them. You can buy 100 of them on Amazon for $10. So yeah, I absolutely can't trust my pharmacy when it comes to prices on this stuff, because I know my pharmacy is trying to rip me off. As you saw by the price that Amazon said that the insulin was $35, even without insurance $105. That's an affordable price, but that's not the price that I get to pay at my pharmacy. So yeah, when it comes to me sorting out my situation, I'm not sure what options I have. Because even just like going abroad is not something that I can do while I'm taking care of Nari Mom. And even after, it's not something that's easily going to be able to be done, because if I'm still in this situation, I won't have any means to do that. Yeah, I know online pharmacies are a bit hit and miss. I would hope that Amazon would be a little more hit than miss when it comes to a lot of their stuff. But yeah. me see. I got an email from Amazon Pharmacy for signing up. Yay. Alrighty. I can't actually use my my Switch Pro controller today. Because it's oh, we heard a blubum. I let it die, and so it's over there charging. So let's pop this off. And I will pop this over. And the system needs to update. Of course it does. Okay, so now the system will restart. No signal? Yes, I know, the system is restarting. Let us actually finish Super Mario RPG. I'm back, refreshed. I'm pretty sure I know what I need to do. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I gotta beat this guy first. Okay. What the hell was that? 205 damage on a basic attack to Mario? Okay. Raker beam. Can't block this. I'm missing the timing for that. Oh, don't kill Gina with this. Of course she killed Gina. Okay, I think it should be in a good spot now. Because now I can just group hug everybody back up every turn. Okay, now if I hold down right here, I don't get taken into the cutscene. Or I do get taken into the cutscene? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I can go back if I know to hold the button back. Okay. And then I have control over when I press a button in that scene. Okay. If you don't, gonna go grab a coffee? Awesome. Okay, yeah, now it's automatic again. So yeah, if you aren't holding the button back in that scene, it automatically puts you in this cutscene. This guy again. Okay, before I get into this fight, I'm gonna take a quick little break. I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Let us begin the boss fight. Okay. Perfect. Sun. Okay. Nice. And then Peach is gonna be on healing duty from here on out. Mom decides she wants to move from the living room to the bedroom. Yep. We're gonna put group hug and filling up the flower power. Okay. I've completely lost all track of timing for these moves. Okay. Oh, it's going okay at the moment. Booyah. Ooh, nice. Okay. Booyah. Group hug. Okay, I think I've got this round nailed down. Nice. Don't get so worked up. Think of your blood pressure. We just built this yesterday. Okay. No. Ooh, woo. Never have I been so wrong. And now he's gonna show us his true form. Alrighty, round 2. We're gonna open with Geno Flash. And then group hug from Peach. Heal everybody back up. Okay. And then Mallow is on shocker duty. Okay. Pick up Peach. And heal Geno back up. Okay. Come on. Oh, that was bad. We definitely need group hug here. pick me up on Chino. Group hug from Peach. Okay. Group hug again. Ow. Okay. I think we're doing well. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Get a lot of damage in that round. Get the heal off. Oh, can't move. Finally killed the body. Okay. Let's bring Mallow back in. Oh, shocker. Resistance to shock. Okay, that's not good. Much more difficult to do on a Joy-Con. We're gonna bring Gino back in. Special attack. Ow. Silence. Okay. Nice. What was that? Oh, I don't like Joy-Cons. I don't like Joy-Cons. Oh. Bringing Mario back. Oh, I missed the timing for the thing. Aha. Okay. What you got next? Same thing. Haha. Body and head are burning. It's not possible. Did I just beat it on the first try? I'm finished. Done for. You meddlers. Ah, no. Boom. Yay. Come on, Mario. Send the last one way up high.
And it exploded.
Yes. And it exploded. Head pats. Yay. We have them all. In a non-patronizing way. Thank you, everyone. The Star Road is back to normal, and now you can drive on it. Exploded didn't play? I heard it.
And it exploded.
Yay! Did you hear it that time? Lansley heard it, and I heard it.
And it exploded.
I could just make it play the sound again. Land up the frog's mouth movement. Yoshi! Okay, that's weird. Yarr! And there's Mallow, never to be seen again in any Mario thing ever. Okay, logic here. You have a broken brick, and you have a hammer, and you're going to fix your broken brick by hitting it with the hammer. Is that supposed to be a fist pump for Peach? But she's doing like an open hand strike upward. Thank you so much for to play in my game. Super Mario RPG. Since 1996, based on the work of the original development staff. Is this the original ending? I must say I have no memory of the ending of this game. Why is the bomb lit? Mouser doing up there on top of the bomb. Is that Bowser's castle nailing it back together? Wait, did he just steal something from the castle? It's a dummy. Oh, there's the bird hair woman. And just a chain. Oh, that's the guy from the minecart area. Oh, there he goes. Just let your train be a runaway train. How did he steal the clown car from Bowser? Oh, Shy Guys. Yeah, first one, I don't think that's how pogo sticks work. There's Smithy. Oh. Why would you do that? Those people work for you. Okay. Oh, now we get updated visuals. Okay. The toads with the different colored stars. So, my thoughts on the remake. It's pretty good. Super Mario RPG is a pretty good game. Coca-Cola Christmas toast. The last boss needs a little bit of tweaking, I think. They should tweak the boss before the final boss to not auto drag you into that cutscene if you're not holding the down button. I think that would be a good addition. And the final boss is simple enough once you understand exactly what you have to do and play super technically the entire time. Once you understand that, you can make it through the final boss fairly simple. But if you don't do the exact thing that you need to do at every single step, you're gonna get wrecked by the final boss. Who keeps setting off these fireworks in the Mushroom Kingdom? Mushroom! The end. It's very aesthetic anti-air defense. Well, fireworks, a lot of people don't realize how dangerous fireworks can actually be. And that, historically, they have been used in war before. Bum, 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 bum. The Chinese very famously used fireworks in war. Okay, if I put the button out, okay, yeah. Save your clear data? Yes. Clear data. And that's it. There is bonus stuff with Super Mario RPG, but I am not in a place where I can, because there's a super boss in this game. I'm not in a place where can handle the super boss without grinding a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there for Super Mario RPG. We went through the game, we experienced what it was, and now we're going to be able to get up to our next game next week. Bye, Peach. Goodbye forever. Yay! Okay, so. I've got so much stuff in here. Grandia, here's where I have all the Mega Man games. Almost all the Mega Man games. I'm missing a couple of collections now. I'm missing some Metroid games because Metroid Prime 4 has came out and they remade Metroid Prime. But I've got like all of the Mario games. I don't have Mario Galaxy 2, which is only on a special Mario Galaxy 1-2 collection. I need to go back and do Tears of the Kingdom because I started it and I really didn't like it. Breath of the Wild is okay. Tears of the Kingdom is not. It's just not. Nari Mom is going off in there because her hockey team is playing. She's like, it's hockey time. I'm like, yes, we know. Hockey time. Bam! Back to this. And you can turn that off. Lovely. And then I can actually turn, cancel this. I need to hold down this button and then hit that button. And then when it goes no signal, I can turn this off. Bam. And then I can turn the music back on. I'm still not a fan of playing with the Joy-Cons. I suppose if I like really get used to them, they might be okay, but I guess I'm just old school. I prefer to use a controller to do like all of my dirty work. But we actually did finish Super Mario RPG this time. Yay! There is something else I want to show you guys. I think Lojo would probably remember when I was doing the beta test for Elementalis. Well, it's officially got a release date. It's coming out later this month, and they put out a little trailer for it. Oh my god. When you had a Switch, you immediately bought a normal controller? Yes. Look at that. April 28th. April 28th. For Elementalis. I backed this game on Kickstarter years and years ago. Back when I was a truck driver. It was like 2019, I think. I backed this game. And I backed it, and like I'm going to get, I think, a Steam version of the game and a Nintendo Switch cartridge version of the game, because I backed it at like one of the highest levels way back in the day. And when the beta test came out, I beta tested it live on stream, and I was making notes and everything. And the developer made so many changes. Based on what me and a couple of other people were saying about the game. Oh, this feels good, this needs to be tightened up, this feels really bad. And yeah, like even like in the Discord, I had a talk where I went back and forth with the developer about one of the boss fights. I'm like, this boss doesn't feel great doing it this way. It feels really bad. It feels like I won because of luck, because I was telling all the things that I say about all the games. Like, I don't like it when I win, and it feels like I won because I got lucky, not because I learned what the boss was up to. And he had a boss in here that was like that, and he retooled it. Yeah. So look, we were talking to him, and he retooled it and was updating the game as we were talking to him about things that we wanted to see, like updated in the game, and cool directions you could go with things, and things that wasn't working, weird graphics that were shaking for no reason. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I look forward to putting this game on the list and giving it a playthrough. Again, once it officially comes out. Yeah, it's a Zelda-like in the style of the Game Boy Zelda games. And it has wonderful pixel art. It plays really well. It has a really nice design aesthetic, a really cool story. I look forward to experiencing the official story. Yeah. Elementalis. I've been very, very excited about this game on the channel before, and I'm really excited now that it's actually coming out. I think that is awesome. Yeah, the first video game that I've backed that actually is coming out. Also, you can see the mouse. Can't really see it on stream. But it's really cool watching the mouse move and seeing like the trail isn't like mouse cursor here, mouse cursor here, mouse cursor here, mouse cursor here. It's like a bajillion mouse cursors as I move it from here to here, because of the screen refresh rate is so quick. I've never had a monitor that had a refresh rate this fast. This is cool. And the colors are so bright on both of these monitors. The colors are so bright. I can hear the colors. I can hear when green appears on the screen. And then when red appears on the screen, you can hear the color. They're really cool monitors. I like them. Thank you very, 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 very much, Lansley, for the monitor upgrades. Yes. And you know, I've got the old monitor that was dying is still over here as a vertical monitor on the side, but I have 4 slots on my graphics card for monitors. And you're like, you know what I can do now that I have these two monitors replaced when I can take one of the crappy monitors that were dying and mount it as a fourth monitor. But the moment I took the monitor off of the stand over here, it fucking died too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to keep these around pretending like they can be fixed. I took a hammer to both of the things. And as soon as I finish stream, I'm going to take them up there and throw them in the dumpster. Like, you piece of shit. You a piece of shit. Hammer, hammer. Meanwhile, this little Vizio one, the one that is dying with the different pixels, I bought this thing in 2019 and had it mounted to the side of my truck when I was a truck driver. So this monitor is like, it has dead pixels and stuff now. I get it that it's dying, but for 2.5 years it was being shaken constantly by a truck, and it's still going. I mean, like, yeah, it's dying, but it's dying slower than those other two pieces of shit that I bought 2 years after I bought this. And this thing is still going. Yeah, Vizios are pretty decent, I gotta say. Because this thing has been to hell and back. And it's only now just starting to die. And I'm pretty sure, had I not had this thing in the truck being shaken constantly for 2.5 years, it would not be dying right now. I'm very sure that's what killed this monitor. Oh, I remember those first flat screens. Yep, the screen was flat, but that was about it. I remember the first flat screen. I remember the first flat screen TV. You better remember these things? They were gigantic. They were projection TVs. So there's a little projector in there that projected the image onto the screen. If there was any light in the room, you couldn't see shit on this TV. Yeah, these things. Big ass things like that, yep. I had a friend who had one like this. And he had a foosball table. This could be my friend's house. But yeah, he had a big ass one like this. Yeah, if there was any light anywhere in the room, especially outdoor light, you couldn't see shit. Yeah, the people that had these were the fancy people. The blue bulb went, there was no fixing it. I didn't have this. Even through the 90s, I had one of these. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of the one with the model that we actually had. It might have been this one. We had, I think it was a little bit different. Might have been this one. Because we had one that had 2 knobs on it. But I feel like it was inside of a cabinet like this. But it had like the panel over here had 2 knobs on it. You went to basically everything into the TV, but because it was insured, when it went like for the cost, it was around $1,500. So we got a baller plasma screen. Oh, I remember plasma too. You can play around. In fact, I can probably show you what something would look like. Let's add a remove. Let me see. Bum bum bum. I'm not sure which one of these would actually be the one that I need. OBS is weird with its filters. Hanji monitors with Toshiba or Hitachi parts. Yeah. But yeah, I had a TV like this. I feel like it was made by Zenith. It might have just been this model TV right here. I remember it did have this particle board backing and little connectors right there. We had the old RF this thing we had. I think this exact one. There we go. Like that. Because the old television that we had 2 screws on the back of it. And so you would have to connect things in through an RF switch like this, and then we had the screws on the back of the television that you would screw it onto, and then later televisions had the RF like coax cable slots, and so you would get this adapter that you would connect that to the screws on the adapter that would then slide onto the coax slot. And this adapter came with every, oh there it is right there. This adapter came with every Atari ever. So yeah, I had the old box TV and I had one of these guys on the back of it. And you could chain them for because of the you can see on the bottom right here, they have 2 more screws. Where you could take another one of these and attach it to this, or attach something via the screw connector right here. That one doesn't have that, but this one has a coax connector right here. So you had the old TVs that needed the 2 screws, but when you had the Nintendo, which came with an RF adapter like this, it just had a coax cable on it. We had to get one of these that had the coax cable connector on it, attach the Nintendo one to this, and then use this with the 2 UHF prongs right there to screw onto the back of the TV. But then you could also connect the Atari up right here if you had an Atari. And so you have a Nintendo coming in right here, you have Atari coming in right here, you can have it connected to the TV right here. And if you have a VCR, you can have it connected to the VCR right there so you can record. This thing was very optimal in how you could connect it, and you connected multiple things at once. And it worked. It sent out the signal here and here at the same time. And you got weird garbage if you put a signal in through here and in through here at the same time. You got really weird signals going out to the TV. This seems much older than this model. This model that's the silver box with the black top. Everybody was using this. I might still have one of these somewhere. Anywho, yeah. I think that's going to be pretty much it for the stream for the day. I don't have anything else lined up. We finished Mario RPG, so we're gonna be hitting a new game next week. I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, is tomorrow. Pretty sure. I'm gonna have to double check that and get that set up later today. Yeah. Bum. I don't think I have anything else. Do you guys have any questions you would like to ask me? Should I start a Q&A? Bum. Does there need to be anything else? No. Don't need to overdo it. True. Very, very, very true. Very true. Well then, I guess I shall wander off. I need to take out the trash, and then get the mail, and then find some foods. Yes, these are things that need to be done. So we'll go off and do these things. Yes. Meanwhile, let's wander about Twitchland and see if there's someone out here doing some fun stuff. Who's doing fun stuff that I can drop you guys in with right now? Don't want to keep raiding the same people over and over and over and over and oh, can I read him? Okay, we're raiding day 9. Apparently Boston has won. If you don't know who Day 9 is, Sean Day 9 Plot is an old StarCraft commentator. He still does stuff. And right now, he is playing the Warcraft 3 campaign. I hope Twitch is loading on my screen. But yeah, he's playing the Warcraft 3 campaign all week. Warcraft 3 is a pretty awesome game. I love the campaign in Warcraft 3. St. Louis Blues #1. But yeah, I'm going to drop you guys off on day 9. And I will catch you guys tomorrow for Ninja Turtles. Yeah. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Nari out.